Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am here to finish where I left off on my video series of the empath and stress, or stress and the empath. I believe I left off on empowering oneself through other spiritual means, or people who have spiritual power or spiritual enlightenment and strength, who have been through the fire, who have been through those stressors as an empath, and have that ability to control themselves, their environment, their emotions, and are strong in emotional intelligence. I don't know what I did with my stuff, but anyway, to continue on that last video, this one is not going to be too long. For an empath, the inpouring of empowerment and enlightenment strengthens them for the empath. This inpouring of empowerment brings upon self-awareness, reflection, and understanding of self-awareness, to become conscious of self-consciousness, not the self-consciousness of being not worthy, or being overly conscious or overly nitpicking at yourself. You know, society gives us this word self-consciousness, but it's the true meaning of it is to become consciously aware of self. And our mental state, our various states of being from day to day, from thought to thought, from emotion to emotion, that's what true self-awareness is. So as the empath begins to become awakened to self and enlightenment to self, and self-aware and self-conscious, that inpouring of empowerment for the empath acts as a filtration system or filtering agent to release, to wash, and to clear and cut away the negativity, fear, doubt, worry, uncertainty, and frustration that is residing in the empath. When an empath who is not aware that they are an empath, they become more frustrated. Overthinking becomes a habit for the empath. You know, why do I feel this way? How come I'm like this? And it's all my fault, and all kinds of other things that come up in an empath's mind. When an empath is becoming aware of self, their life begins to shift, their mind begins to shift. A lot of the aha moments begin. Oh, that's why I am the way I am. That's who I am. I'm this and I'm that, and that's why. That explains everything. Once the empath becomes self-aware and self-conscious, a lot of habits and behavioral patterns become realized. And once the empath becomes realized or becomes self-realized, those behavioral patterns, or those vicious negative cycles, become conquered. You know, the empath is better able to detach from certain vicious mental, emotional, physical, behavioral cycles, and begins to bring about more positive thoughts, actions, emotions. An empath will become more optimistic of life and more understanding of self when they realize who they are. For an empath, an empath would have to have some sort of daily, more than likely several times a day, depending on the type of empath one is, would have to have a spiritual practice that is soothing, strengthening, and empowering, which is also a way and method or methods of stimulating growth, bringing about change, and stimulating change on a personal and spiritual level for the empath, paving the way for cultivation, transformation, and transmutation of self. That's me moving my computer. And realization of energy transference from person to empath will be my next video. But once an empath catches on to who they are, once an empath becomes self-aware, once an empath becomes conscious of their mental state, their emotional state, their vibrating state, their frequency, they then become aware of how to change that. Because once an empath becomes aware of self, pretty much the domino effect begins to occur for an empath. Because once an empath is on the right track to getting the full knowledge of self, pretty much everything that the empath needs becomes available to it. When the eyes were closed to, and the opportunity to become better, a better version of self for the empath was closed to them. But once the eye is open for the empath, the opportunity to transmute and transform and become master of self for the empath becomes brighter, and the empath becomes more enlightened on the how, if you will, of changing self. When an empath is closed, and when I say closed, I mean unaware of self, the pathway to changing self and mastering self is also closed. So if an empath is unaware of self, that door is not going to open until that empath is self-aware. And once the empath becomes self-aware and self-realized and self-conscious, then the door is open to bring about change for the empath. Then the pathway is open, and it can be many paths, but the empath will choose as it resonates with them on what path spiritually to follow. For an empath, self-enlightenment becomes easier. And when I say easier, I mean information on how to transmute and transform and master self becomes more of a way to help an empath be led on that right resonating spiritual journey. So for an empath, once you become self-aware, take heed to all of these signs that are going to be placed on your path and on your journey, because it's telling you something. So once you realize yourself and realize your natural innate powers or gifts, watch the signs. They will very well lead you to the path and purpose that you are supposed to be on as an empath. And that's pretty much it for now. This is a very short video, but it was the impouring of empowerment and enlightenment for the empath and what to do, basically. I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. I hope that I've helped somebody somewhere become more enlightened, closer to your path, closer to Lucifer, closer to self, closer to the spiritual journey that you were meant to be on, and closer to your purpose. I hope that everyone has a good day. I got spell work to do. I got counseling. I'm a spiritual therapist. So if anybody needs therapy, don't hesitate to contact me. There's a fee. Consultations over the phone are now $50. Other than that, regular message consultations, email consultations are free. But over the phone, it's $50 because we're going to be on the phone for a while. So, $50 per hour. Anyway, I hope that everybody has a great day. I hope that you have learned something from me, and it helps you change your life and helps you find your spiritual journey and your path. Talk to y'all later. Hail Lucifer, hail Legion. Bye-bye.